Now, speaking of threats to Western civilization, Woke Preacher Clips, a very funny account, has just posted a very frustrating and ridiculous video. A little error, though, because it was reported that, well, you'll see why momentarily, that this woman, preacherette, priestess, is a Catholic priest. Here's what she has to say.
Here are some things this clerical collar does not allow me to do. 1, ignore systemic injustice. My faith demands that I advocate for the marginalized. And that means speaking out whenever I see injustice or harm taking place within our communities. The second thing this clerical collar does not allow me to do is worry about rules more than people. Now, I love Catholicism and my apostolic Catholic faith, but that doesn't mean that rules and liturgy should come before people. This collar also won't let me see a border as something to separate me from other people. This means speaking up for immigrants, for the stranger, for the foreigner, welcoming those, and speaking out when harms are being perpetuated against those communities, which is happening right now.
Okay, so this is a Catholic priest. Whatever. It's just some ridiculous liberal diatribe. She's wearing some rainbow thing. Not in the biblical sense of rainbow, I think. But what I want to talk about is more the caption. This is a Catholic priest, because for those of you who don't follow ecclesiology or church history very closely, that woman is not a Catholic priest. I'm quite confident she's not a Catholic priestess because the Catholic Church does not ordain women and cannot ordain women. Many other Protestant denominations, etc., have ordained women. The Catholic Church does not do that and cannot do that. The priesthood is male, period, full stop, end of story. Go to preborn.com/Knowles. When Our Lady said, "Let it be done to me according to your word," in Luke 1:38, she said yes to God's plan, despite the uncertainty, despite the risk, and the sacrifice ahead. Our Lady is a model for us in all ways, and especially in that way. That single yes brought our Lord into the world. Today, mothers across the country face their own life-changing moment when they see their baby on an ultrasound screen. Many are scared, many feel alone, and without support, that moment, that chance to say yes can slip away. You can help change that. Thanks to you, Preborn Network clinics offer immediate practical support to mothers facing uncertainty. Maternity clothes, diapers, counseling, and more. They've saved over 380,000 babies. They have been born because someone like you showed up for a mother in need. Thousands more lives hang in the balance every single day. This holiday season, you can be the hope a mother needs. You can help give a baby a chance at life. I personally support this charity. I recommend you give whatever you can. To donate securely, dial pound 250, say baby. As pound 250, say baby, or go to preborn.com/Knowles, K-N-O-W-L-E-S, preborn.com/Knowles. And added bonus, especially this time of year, every gift is tax deductible and impacts generations to come. Some people in modernity, on the left and the right, have trouble understanding this. And for two reasons. Well, on the left, the reason they have trouble understanding this is because they believe that our identity comes from our self-definition. So they say, well, this woman identifies as a Catholic priest, so she is. Who are you to say she's not a Catholic priest? She identifies that way, so she is. That's the left-wing objection. Kind of silly, because the Catholic Church doesn't really care about your self-identity all that much. Certainly if you don't have a correct self-identity. But even some people on the right, especially non-Catholics, will object, and they'll say, well, listen, there are plenty of Catholics who would like women priests, and she's got some kind of congregation, I guess. And so, really, maybe she, in a way, she kind of is Catholic, Listen, or it's only a matter of time before before Catholics have women priests. Or look, people want it. You can see public opinion. Actually, public opinion is not moving in the direction of women priests, but let's say it were. This also fundamentally misunderstands authority, because we live in a modern, liberal, democratic age. And even people who are on the right have trouble understanding pre-modern, non-democratic forms of authority, period, as far as I'm concerned. Not to put too fine a point on it, every single lay Catholic in the world could desire and choose to recognize so-called women priests. That woman still would not be a priest, because it's not up to them, because the Catholic Church is not a democracy, because of the voice of the people is not actually the voice of God. Now, a better objection would be, well, listen, there are some crazy bishops out there, and we've had some bad popes too. And what would happen? Just you wait until enough liberal bishops get in there and maybe a liberal pope, and the pope decides there are going to be women priests. This too misunderstands authority in the church and misunderstands papal infallibility, because the pope, we Catholics believe, the pope is infallible when he teaches on certain things in certain circumstances. He's not infallible on all things, in all cases, in all circumstances. He has the ability to teach infallibly on certain matters in certain circumstances. And we have come to this conclusion throughout the history of the church because of the very principle of Catholicity, the universality of the church, because of the historical deference to Rome as the place where Peter and Paul went, as they were sent there, and where the seat of Peter remains today. Papal infallibility does not mean that the Pope could come out and say, declare a fourth person of the Trinity. Okay, the Pope could come out and say, I believe there's a fourth person. It probably wouldn't happen, but he couldn't do that. The Pope has the ability to teach, to clarify things that are true and that are manifest within the church's 2,000-year history and tradition. The Pope can't just make stuff up, okay? And we have so much trouble in our modern age understanding authority, even on the right, that we fall for this stuff. But there are no priestesses. I know it is the case that many denominations work that way, where if enough people want something, then they get it, or the church splits and they get two new churches or whatever. But that's not how this institution works, which is why, despite all of the knavish imbecility that has characterized some of its governance for 2,000 years, that is why, in my opinion, that's one of the reasons why, in my opinion, it remains. It's the only institution from antiquity that remains in the West. Maybe there's a reason for that. Okay, that was good. Sandwiches. That was a great clip. Now stop. Ring the bell. Subscribe. We'll see you next time.